Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here.
So proud of you.
Yes, that's right, it's that time again, and unfortunately it's going to be for the very last time, at least in this format, but it is time for the 2020 Oscar Snubs. So, I just want to forewarn you, in case you're new to my channel, let me just say welcome, it is a pleasure to have you, and for all of you returning, a warning for you as well. This is probably going to be one of the tamest Oscar snub videos that you will get from me, merely because of the fact that when you take a look back at what the world of film gave us in 2019, I will agree with what many people have said. Without a doubt, 2019 was one of the strongest years for film in its history of existence. And when I take a look at all of the nominations, while there are some important things to talk about, there has been a great deal of good seen within these nominations. I'm glad to see that many people are trying to look past the whole thing with diversity and no women, no people of color. Even though there are some people that are making that statement, one of the few things that the Academy, at least, has made a statement about is the fact that we want to nominate good movies that everybody is watching. But you will get a little bit of a rant from me, but not necessarily one that is curse-ridden, but you're not going to get that until the very end of this video. So I do have my list with me in regards to my talking points, so if I do look down, don't be worried about it, I'm fine. So, we don't have good contenders this year. We have great contenders. And I am just going to say this right off the bat before this begins. 1917 is going to win it all, everybody. I reviewed that movie already. You have seen the video. If you have not, it'll be at the end of this one. But there is no more of a stunning achievement that the world of film has seen since 1917. And I will definitely say that if I am wrong, I will be shocked out of my mind. I will not eat my shoe, because there's a chance that I could be wrong about this, but based on what I have seen, and based on some of the other nominations, which I have actually seen, not all of them, but most, I definitely feel that that is the big one, and that's the one that's going to take Best Picture, hands down. I will definitely say that there are some very big surprises, and probably the biggest surprise is Jojo Rabbit. Getting nominated for Best Picture, Scarlett Johansson, as well as a whole bunch of other awards, including Taika Waititi, for Best Screenplay. I think that that is absolutely fantastic. I mean, I didn't see the movie, I didn't really seem to be attached to it, or have any interest in it, but now because of the fact that there are so many people, including my own sister, that are saying to me, you have to see Jojo Rabbit, at some point in time, I have a feeling you're going to see that in one of my One That Got Away this year. Now, in regards to visual effects, Lion King, seriously, I mean, that movie, you know, it didn't need to be made. The fact that people even call it a live-action movie, which is hilarious, because all it is a whole bunch of digital animals. It's an episode of Wild Discovery. There was nothing new, there was nothing original. The fact that that movie is getting any kind of credit is a mystery to me. I am extremely happy to see Bombshell getting some awards. I am so happy to see that it's getting nominated for Best Makeup, because I truthfully believe that it deserves that, because it turned Charlize Theron into Megyn Kelly. I really thought that that was Megyn Kelly in the movie. I also cannot wait to see that movie again, because it really was fantastic, but so glad to see that Best Makeup. If anything, I hope that Bombshell wins it. For Best Song and Music, I am not surprised, although I have to say that Thomas Newman, because he got nominated for 1917, I am pretty sure that he is going to win, because that was an amazing score, although a lot of people feel the Joker might win it, but I'm pulling for Thomas Newman, and it's also just really nice to see John Williams there scoring another Star Wars movie. Glad to know that that's one of the few awards that The Rise of Skywalker has been nominated for, because it was worth it. I said that John Williams gave me one of the best scores in The Rise of Skywalker, so I'm very glad that it is there. Now, in regards to adapted and original screenplays, there's no complaints here. I'm glad to see that Greta Gerwig got nominated for Little Women. I haven't seen Little Women. I will probably not see Little Women, but I know that it's a good movie, and Greta Gerwig deserves an Academy Award nominations for that. I am also really surprised that Bombshell did not get nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay. Very surprised by that, because I thought it was a very good story. And probably the biggest surprise is the fact that Jordan Peele didn't get nominated for Best Original Screenplay for Us. Even though I haven't seen Us, but I will be. There will be an episode of One That Got Away where Us is going to be the movie I'm going to be talking about. The fact that he did get the accolades that he got for Get Out, Us was a game changer in the world of horror, and the fact that he did not get nominated was a big surprise to me. Now, probably the one that a lot of people are talking about is animated feature, and the fact that people are somewhat happy that Frozen 2 didn't get nominated. I think the fact that Klaus got nominated was a big surprise, and also the fact that Missing Link won the Golden Globe was even bigger of a surprise. But quite frankly, I personally liked Frozen 2. I thought that it was a great continuation, a much darker, more mature story, and quite frankly, I would have taken that over Toy Story 4 any day of the week. I still will give Pixar credit where credit is due. Toy Story 4, while it didn't need to be made, the fact that they actually did make it and turn it into something that actually worked is no shame in saying that, but I still feel that Frozen 2 was the better sequel. In regards to the actors, we're not going to really go into any of the others like costumes or anything to that because there's nothing to say that's negative or positive. It's all fine. Everything that's there is good. So it really goes into the actors because there's definitely stuff to talk about here. Now, for supporting actor, the one thing that made me so happy was the fact that Tom Hanks did not get overlooked for Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood as Mr. Rogers. Will he win? I don't know, but when I watched that movie, even though it did have some imperfections, which is also one of the main reasons why I'm not surprised that Mariel Heller did not get nominated for Best Director, because the movie was not perfect. It had some problems, but Tom Hanks' performance, there were points where I really thought that that was Mr. Rogers. I did not see Tom Hanks, and the fact that he got nominated is very important. Though I'm very surprised that John Lithgow did not get nominated for Bombshell, where he played Roger Ailes. That was without a doubt one of the most stellar performances of the whole movie, but I am still glad to know that there are some actors that are getting nominated for their roles in this movie, and we'll go into those in just a little bit. When we take a look at Best Supporting Actress, that's where one of them shows up. Margot Robbie for Bombshell. She was great as Kayla in Bombshell. Loved her. I am also very happy to see Kathy Bates from Richard Jewell, because Richard Jewell did not get much love this year. I unfortunately missed it in theaters, even though I did want to see it, but it didn't get many nominations. But the fact that Kathy Bates is at least getting nominated for it just shows that that movie is not overlooked. Same for the fact that Tom Hanks got nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Now, when we take a look at lead actor, this is where I start to get a little bit upset, because even though there are some excellent performances here, I mean, I'm sure that Joaquin Phoenix is going to win it, but the fact that 3 specific actors did not get nominated, Christian Bale for Ford v Ferrari, Taron Egerton for Rocketman, and Adam Sandler for Uncut Gems. And it's only because of the fact that these were 3 performances that everyone, whether they were critics or whether they were average moviegoers, were just buzzing about. And I have seen 2 of these 3 films, and I thought that they were wonderful. Considering that Rami Malek won for his role as Freddie Mercury, it would have been great to see another music biopic actor get nominated and hopefully win, because Taron Egerton went through such a transformation to become Elton John, and I wanted to see Taron Egerton get one of those kinds of roles to give him Oscar notice, which is something that he truly deserves, because he's a fantastic actor. But Adam Sandler also blowing everybody's minds. I haven't seen Uncut Gems yet, but I really, really want to. But I would be happy if they got some notice. I mean, we're going to go off topic before we get into the actresses, because I don't really know what to say much about Marriage Story. I know that Adam Driver is getting nominated, but Adam Driver's a great actor. I won't deny that. But I've heard that Marriage Story is okay. I haven't really heard many truly great reviews. Everybody seems to be in the middle, so I don't know why he and Scarlett Johansson are both getting nominated. But one of the few things that I will say is one movie that is predominant in the Oscars this year is Martin Scorsese's Irishman. Now, Irishman is a great movie. I've seen it. I love it. I think it's one of Martin Scorsese's best. The fact that it's gotten nominated for screenplay, for director, for best picture, totally worth it. But I don't think that all the actors should have been nominated. I thought that their performances were good, but compared to some of the performances that I just talked about, I would not choose Irishman cast members over those. That's just my own personal opinion. I'm glad to see them there in The Irishman getting tons of love, but I just didn't think that those performances were Oscar-worthy compared to the others. I mean, I love the fact that Brad Pitt got nominated for Best Supporting Actor, along with Leonardo DiCaprio getting Best Actor for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't think Leonardo DiCaprio will win, but he's got his Oscar already, that's great. But Brad Pitt was so great in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And considering the fact that Quentin Tarantino really didn't get much love for his newest film, I'm glad to see the Oscars really taking notice because I like it. I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a fantastic movie. It's just so much fun because that's Quentin Tarantino for you. And then when it comes to lead actress, I'm glad to see that Cynthia Erivo is there for Harriet. I haven't seen it yet, but from what I have heard, the movie is not great, but I heard she is fantastic. And if she wins, I will not be upset about that. But the competition is tough because Renee Zellweger is getting nominated for Judy, another movie I haven't seen yet, but I would like to see, especially for Zellweger's performance. When it comes to everything in the Oscars this year, it's the fact that The Farewell got absolutely nothing. Another movie I haven't seen, but I love Awkwafina. Let me say that right now. Whether she is playing a live-action role or if she's doing a voice acting role, because she has lent her voice to the Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance, as one of the Skeksis, and she's fantastic. I'm very excited to see her lend her voice to a character in the new Disney canon classic film this year, Raya and the Last Dragon. Awkwafina deserves so much more credit. When I saw Crazy Rich Asians, I loved her performance. She made me laugh. And as someone who's trying to find great comedies, Crazy Rich Asians is one of those great comedies. I want to see so much more. But the fact that she didn't get nominated for Best Actress in The Farewell, especially considering that she's doing a dramatic role, very similar to what Adam Sandler did this year in Uncut Gems, very, very surprised that she didn't get it. I mean, she did get the Golden Globe, very happy about that, but I really think a lot of people would have wanted to see her getting the Oscar nomination and possibly even winning. And I think that that's the Gyllenhaal effect of 2020. If you haven't watched these Oscar snub videos in a while, my Gyllenhaal effect basically means that there are a whole bunch of acting performances that were nominated except for one that should have been, and I have this strange conspiracy theory that if that person would have been nominated, that person probably would have won. And Gyllenhaal effect, I was referring to Jake Gyllenhaal's performance in Nightcrawler, which is one of the best that I've ever seen him in. And I definitely feel that Awkwafina for The Farewell is this year's Gyllenhaal effect. And now let's take a look at directors. You know, it's perfect. Like I said, I don't think that Marielle Heller deserved it because of, I believe that A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood is good, but it's got some moments that are just very interesting yet bold, but just don't fit for the movie. It's flawed. And I haven't seen Little Women, and I don't know if it's truly, truly wonderful, but, you know, Greta Gerwig did at least get nominated for Best Screenplay Adapted. That's not bad. You know, that's not bad. For me, it's going to be a three-way battle between Scorsese for The Irishman, Sam Mendes for 1917, and Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I definitely feel that the black sheep is Todd Phillips for Joker. Does he have a chance to win? I think he does. But quite frankly, I want to see Sam Mendes win this because 1917 was just amazing. And the Best Picture, you know, I'm glad with what I've got here. I mean, I think that it's a very good group of films. Once again, very surprised that Jojo Rabbit got nominated. It really gives me the incentive to go see this movie now, because ever since I saw Thor Ragnarok, I didn't care for Taika Waititi. That's my own personal thoughts. And I don't really feel like I want to give him a chance, but for Jojo Rabbit, I think I have to, because a movie as crazy and zany and even to a certain degree offensive for some, I'm curious to what it's all about now. But that's pretty much everything that has happened in regards to the Oscars, but it's not without some true disappointment for me. I always say that when it comes to some of the movies that I nominate, my own personal thoughts, I always try and give you guys what I actually saw that did get nominated as opposed to what didn't, but Alita: Battle Angel, I thought was the best movie of 2019. And the fact that it got not a single nomination for anything is extremely upsetting to me. And is it probably because of the fact that there was so much controversy, which, as far as I'm concerned, didn't even need to be there? The fact that people said that Alita Battle Angel was a platform for the alt-right and white supremacy is ludicrous, especially when you take a look at the fact that Oscar winner Mahershala Ali is in this film, as well as Rosa Salazar playing the lead role, who is Hispanic, as well as the fact that the movie is directed by a Hispanic man, Robert Rodriguez. How the hell do you put those two together? Alita Battle Angel was a theatrical spectacle. It was absolutely gorgeous to look at. It had such a good story. The visual effects were outstanding, as were the costumes, as was the sound, as was the score from Junkie XL. There were so many amazing things that Alita Battle Angel gave us, and the fact that the Oscars completely pushed that movie under the rug, trying to pretend that it didn't exist, is a shock to me. I know so many people who have seen Alita Battle Angel and absolutely love that movie. It was so amazing to watch on the big screen. Even watching it on my own personal television set in Blu-ray was beautiful. I want to watch it again. I'm really hoping that the sales keep going well for this film because I want a sequel. It was a great one, and I'm not even a big fan of James Cameron, and the fact that James Cameron is the producer of this movie makes it even more special. I just don't understand why this specific movie did not get at least one Oscar nomination in the effects or sound category, because that was definitely a deserving one. But that's it, everybody. Those are my thoughts on the 2020 Oscars, and those are my thoughts on the snubs. Feel free to put your comments in the box below, and let's discuss or debate. But that's all I've got to say. It's really not an angry year for me this year. It's definitely good because there were just so many great movies, and I'm glad to know that I've seen The Irishman, I've seen Ford v Ferrari, I've seen 1917, I've seen The Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But I'm definitely excited to see how it all pans out, because I'm definitely curious to see all these movies that I have not seen yet. But in the meantime, everybody, I will see you in the next one. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you're new here and want to see more of what my channel has to offer, please click on the link to my last video, or hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of my uploads. Content of all sorts is posted here quite often, so trust me, you do not want to fall behind. I will see you in the comments, and actions speak louder than words.